Defense, tell them. Defense. Put me in, coke. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchmen coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods, plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds, the hot boy shining. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks. With the ball in the air, secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time.
West Coast, this is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
you.
man West Coast from this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. I'm back home smoking legal. I got more chefs than the Beto. Foreign rolling on diesel, dog. You know what I'm saying? We back in this piece. We back in here with the boss, man. What's up with you, man? We up here.
What's up, my brother? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, bam. We about to be live on iJizzle. We live on iJizzle. What's up, IG? I love IG because they got shorter names. And they be shorter with their comments. They be straight. Be like, damn, West Coast. God dang, I didn't see it like that. You know what I'm saying? So we up on IG. We got the boss in the house. What's up with you guys? We got Joe Trantrina in the house. We got Mike Zappi in the house. We got Da Money, the host in the house. We got Calvin in the house. What up with you, Calvin Cambridge? I got your order. We started working on your order last week. I appreciate your business. Buddha, what up with you, Travis? Joe Trantrina. Chuck, what up with you, Chuck? I heard you got your jersey a couple weeks ago, man. I heard you were pretty happy with it too, so I appreciate you for your business, big dog. Who else? Dwayne Double D, what up with you, man? I'm still working on your D-Law jersey. Got your other one out to you, though. I appreciate your business. Efren, what's up with you? BJ Hagan, what's up with you, man? New listener, haven't seen you before, but if you've been on the show before and I haven't seen you, I apologize. What's up with you? What's up with you, IG? As soon as I see Boss Cowboy up in here, I'm gonna pull him on IG. Let's see if I see him real quick. Nope, still don't see him yet. So as soon as Boss Cowboy shows up in my thread, I'll add him. Boss Cowboy, I see you on Facebook, but I don't see you on IG.
Hey,
says, I'm finna hit your line. I need to place a big order, bro. Ayo, hit my DM, bro. Blow my DM up. Like when people be blowing my DM up this weekend when they were saying, West Coast, is it over? And I'm like, no, bruh. It's not over. It's week 5. I'm in the airport. I'll hit you when I get home. You know what I'm saying? Hit my inbox aggressively. Like IG, I love it. They were saying, little boy over on, Lil Buddha over on IG. I see you. Carrie, what up with you, Scout? Carrie, what happened to your top fan? What happened to your supporter tag? What happened, man? Pernell, what's up with you, Mr. Pernell Jones? What's up, man? D Money, what's up with you? Boss Cowboy, I see you still on Facebook. Marcus Smith, there you go. There you go. I see you. Go live with Marcus. There we go. All right, YouTube, we should be coming up. We should be, not YouTube, but there we go. Boss Cowboy. There we go. Bam, man, he got that bomb internet today. Hey, turn me down. I can hear I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm turning you down.
All right, bam, there we go. All right, bam. So everybody should be able to hear everybody. All right, IG, y'all can hear me, right? Facebook, y'all can hear me, right? What up, gents? What up, David? What up, man? Hey, we got the GOAT on the line. What up, man? We got. Hey, he the GOAT, but he really like he the money man. He makes sure all this stuff go on, make it look all pretty. You know what I'm saying? We got Mr. David on the line in the comment box from Cowboys Packages, man. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, man. We had a great time with Cowboys Packages this weekend. We had Jalen Smith out. I know you guys saw the Jalen Smith video. I appreciate you guys so much for supporting it. It had like over 2,000 views on Instagram and on Facebook. It's just going crazy. It got like 5,000, almost 6,000 views on Facebook. So we're about 7,000, 8,000 views so far on the video. So I just want to appreciate you guys for supporting the video and sharing it and getting that content out. We were gonna do the Cowboys Packages as our third recap, but let's go ahead and talk about, since it did happen on Saturday. Let's talk about it real quick, Boss Cowboy, about our Cowboys Package event that we had this Saturday. I call them exclusive events because you gotta have a code. You gotta have a code, man. You gotta have an access, man. Because look, let me tell you. The craziest thing happened at Cowboys Package event, right? Let me tell you, Boss Cowboy. We just sitting there chilling like a mother, like we chilling. You know what I'm saying? We at the Omni, you know what I'm saying? I'm living my best life. You know what I'm saying? They got the big old lake, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they got no fish in there, but I like to pretend. You know what I'm saying? But we out there, we chilling, you know what I'm saying, at the Omni, feeling all good. We got about 150 Cowboy fans up in the room, and we just chilling, having a good time. And then guess what, Boss Cowboy? Guess who just bust up in the room, alone the room? You know what I'm saying? Didn't even just bust up in the room like he just like he not a superstar or somebody. How Jalen Smith just gonna bust up in the room without it? He just surprised us, just walked up in the room like, what up? I'm in here. Everybody went crazy, bro. It was one of the best feelings ever, man. It just, it just really showed you how, like, at some events, these players, they have like the double arm security. They have like a security here. They have a security here. They have the one, they always have that big dude in front of them that has the microphone that does this all the time. Okay. 4 or 9 or 7, 8 or 9 or 6. Okay. At Cowboys Packages events, man, you got Jalen Smith, one of the most notable football players in all of NFL football with the dreads and the SWAT. Just busts up in the room like, what up, Cowboy Packages? I'm up in here, man. And the whole crowd went crazy, man. Boss Cowboy, this was probably your second event. This was your second event for Cowboys Packages, man. What did you think about this event? I need to know, man.
It's actually my first. So, yeah, it was awesome, man. It was a great turnout. And one of the things that I really liked about it was the fact that, Jalen did come in there and really treat everybody like family. He was just a tad bit late, but then, just like a person that's going to keep their promises, he stayed late, too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, say that one more time, brother, because these athletes be giving a bad rap sometimes because they be having responsibilities. They got family. They just got out of practice. But say what you just said again because
Yeah,
a lot of people didn't notice that.
I think the event started at 3, so obviously we was there very early. But then, when he came in, I think it was about 3:30. No telling what's going on in their life, so it's always good when they show up because you never know. They might have just been getting out of film, therapy, whatever. You never know. It's really about them being prepared for the game. But he showed up. But what I loved about it is he showed up late, but he also stayed late. He showed a lot of love. And then, most importantly, selfishly, I'm gonna speak about me. He showed love to my kids, and it was genuine. You know,
Yeah.
he
Hey,
went
I
all.
ain't gonna lie, because them airplane tickets is really, really high. You know what I'm talking about? And I got 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when I go to Cowboys Packages when I'm in Dallas and I don't have all my kids, I will adopt kids and just pretend like we all one big happy family, man. And like I wanted to make sure I was gonna make sure if my kids weren't able to get there to Cowboys Packages, I was gonna make sure that my boy Boss Cowboys sons, man, two of the most smart kids, man. Your kids are so intellectual, man. They speak so well. I want to salute you, bro. You can definitely tell they got a daddy for a right. I mean, not a daddy. They got a writer for a daddy. You know what I'm saying? Because your kids, they are very articulate. They're very articulate, man. And I just want to tell you, I salute you, man. You see a lot of yourself in them. But man, I had a question and answering time, and I was like, man, I have to have one of your sons ask a question. We weren't able to do it because of the time constraints. But one thing I did love about it is my boy Jalen Smith showed them love, man. And man, these players, bro, like I always tell people, like, you really know the type of person you are or the type of person you're dealing with when you have someone who can't really do nothing for you. We can't really do nothing for Jalen Smith other than take his picture and do interviews. You know what I'm saying? But, when those type of people show you love, when they're on top of the world and they're able to come, not necessarily come down off their horse, because I never think Jalen Smith is on a horse, but when they're able to come down to reality and just be normal people and have a normal good time, like, bro, you got to salute that and commend that. So just as, we're going to talk about Jalen Smith as a player, and we'll talk about that later on, but, Saturday did happen before Sunday, and I just want to give them a shout-out, man. Cowboys Packages, man, you guys, we put on some fire. I don't say they. I don't say they anymore. I say we. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm Cowboys Packages. We put on some fire events. I'm just being honest with you. We put on some fire events. Like, it was absolutely live. Player interaction was dumb. Like, you could talk to the player, you could see the player. We don't encourage it, but some women, they be kissing on the player. And like I said, we don't encourage it. But some of them women from the 915, they can't help it. they just put some big old fat one on him. And Jalen just take it in stride. So he's a solid dude. And I want you guys, I'm not gonna talk too much about the interview I did with him. Why? Because I want you guys to go watch it. But I asked him, I said, Jalen Smith, everybody knows about that swipe. Everybody knows that is your signature move. We want to know where it come from. And he gave us an excellent answer, a truthful answer. So we appreciate Jalen Smith and can't wait to see him in 2 weeks when I come back from the Philadelphia game. But, yo, man, let's start this thing over. Let's go ahead and start this show off, man. I appreciate everybody for sharing. Let's start with the injury updates. We're going to talk about injury updates. Guys who got hurt or guys who were hurt in this game. And when we do injury updates, what we do is we'll talk about a guy who was injured, who didn't play, and then we'll talk about his replacement and how he played. Because that's really an injury update. Because you guys don't really care if they y'all care if they hurt. But what y'all care about is if they can play. And if they can't play, who's the guy that's going to back? Who's the guy and how did their backup guy play? So let's start with the obvious, man. Joe says he got to get Cowboys Packages to start bringing America's Sweetheart, the cheerleaders, with them. I'm going to be honest with you, man. We got some sweethearts after you play at the location. You just got to come down, man. We got you. Don't trip. We got sweethearts in the building. Don't trip. We got you. But let's start off with these injury updates, man. Injury updates gonna start off first. Ding, 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 ding. This is your injury update brought to you by Cowboys Packages. All right, so first injury update we had was Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith did not play, and his backup that backed him up was a one Cam Fleming. Now, we're not going to turn this show into a whole bash on Cam Fleming show because we know he did not have his big hat on like he did last week. I told him that too. When I seen him when I seen Cam Fleming, we walked, because I actually walked Cam Fleming to his car. So when we walked into his car, that's exactly what I was telling him. Like the Lord told me, a lot of times when you see these athletes, you want to tell them all the bad stuff they're doing, but I don't want to just be in a group of people that he not listening to, because I know when you tell me I'm not doing something right, I typically, unless I know you, I just stop listening. That's just what I kind of do. It's just natural. You know what I'm saying? So I figured they do the same thing. So when I saw Cam, I said two things to him. The Lord told me to say two things to him. One, where is your big Cowboy hat at, bruh? Just like Marcy, when we was down by 28 points, my scout Marcy, she immediately inboxed me on all of my social platforms. That's how I know it's important. When I get an inbox from you on all social platforms, I know it's important. It said this one statement. She said, West Coast, do you have your hat on? I said, I'm putting it on now. Why? Because Cam Fleming, when you put that big hat on, you have a different swag. He didn't have his hat on. He was all over the place. Second thing I told Cam Fleming is this. I said, Cam, I said, bruh, it's going to be a rough week. Don't read the comments. Don't read the comments on social media. Look at the picture, scan right by. You know what I'm saying? Cam Fleming did not have the type of game that we thought he was going to have. And I don't necessarily think it was just because of just sheer strength. Just think he just got beat, man. There was just a couple plays where he just got beat. Boss Cowboy, you did a really good job of breaking down what you thought Cam Fleming was going to do. And I think for the most part, you hit it on the head. You said 70% of the... Basically, what I got from what you said about Cam Fleming is that West Coast, about 70% of the time, he's going to be 100% okay. 30% of the time, he's going to be a fish out of water. And I'm going to be honest with you, boss. You were dead on. 70% of the time, Cam looked okay. But 30% of the time, he was a fish out of water. Talk to me, Boss Cowboy.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where when you look at Cam, I can see where people are very upset because, he allowed 2 sacks. But see, one thing we always got to remember is, first of all, he's a backup.
And first of all, you said that number 2. I'm gonna give you your call. Boss Cowboy said this. I'm gonna give him his call, and we always call good stuff, but I'm gonna tell you this. You know your team when you can call sacks and stuff like that. That's what I did with Connor Williams his first game in his career. I said he's going to give up 2 sacks to North Carolina. This is going to happen.
Yeah, and you had to go into the game almost expecting that, especially when you look at the fact that the Green Bay Packers was the number 1 team in pressures. So they was doing a good job of coming off the edges with the Smith brothers. And bringing a lot of pressure. So even though a lot of people I know are mad at him and stuff, it's like you got to also have realistic expectations, right? And the way that I always already went into the game is saying it like this: at least he's not Chaz Green and Byron Bell, So he held up really good previous to that game. And generally most games are not going to have a pass rush that was coming at him like those guys from Green Bay was coming at him. So it's one of those things to where I called him the best insurance money can buy. And for the most part, he was a good policy, right? He was a really good policy because if we had somebody that was weak at that left tackle position, remember that's where they put the best pass rushers, then that game would have been even worse. It would have been even worse. So it's one of those things. And then you got to also think about this. This is one of the most important things that most people miss, because I've been seeing a lot of people, because it's always Panic Monday after we lose with the Cowboy family.
Oh, that's the new name. That's the new name for Monday. Panic Monday.
Yeah, it's always Panic Monday. Yeah, it's Panic Monday. Like, so the sky falls with us. We never kind of really balance. It's always hot or cold. And one of the things that they were saying is, where was Zeke? Will you pay Zeke all that money? The game changes when a team takes a lead.
Yep.
When the team, because look, everything was perfectly going perfect in terms of what you wanted to see from Zeke. He was averaging over 5. He was gashing them from beginning to end. But you have to stop using Zeke when you when you're behind, because now you're racing against the clock. So what does that mean? Dak had to throw. It wasn't you lose your clock management game when they have a 17-point lead. You just lose it. You have to throw because you have to kill the clock and you have to speed the game up. What also happened is what? That means the defensive ends for Green Bay said they have to pass. This is our time. This is our time to eat. And they pin their ears back.
And I was just about to do it too, boss. When you
they pin their ears back and they able to go full speed. So to say he gave up 10 sacks when half the game was pretty much all passing situations, that's still good. So just kind of settle down, everybody. Let's chill. Let's relax. No, Cam is not T. Smith, and he never will be. But Cam is a very solid swing tackle, and we're very blessed to have him for another year.
Yeah, and this is my thing on Cam Fleming, too. There was not a play, except for that one, okay? You guys always know there's one. There was not a play but from Cam Fleming where he just got mauled. I'm going to be honest with you. Cam Fleming got beat getting around and, like, straight edge. Like, straight just, like, I'm going to be honest with you, and, like, sometimes you got to give, like, we like to give players their due respect of, oh, he didn't play well. But sometimes that we don't do when we play against these teams with superior athletes. And I'm not saying they have superior athletes at every position, but they had a superior athlete at that position. And to be honest with you, if I was looking at paper and I was like, who's a better athlete, Cam Fleming or Smith? Smith is. And I'm not talking about the Smith on our team. I'm talking about the Smith that was coming off the end. Like, so sometimes you just got to be realistic and be like, was Cam Fleming really playing against a better athlete? Yes. The entire game. The entire game. Now, think about this. If Tyron Smith is playing there, is Tyron Smith playing against? And now if Tyron Smith has this game, I'm worried. Why? Because Tyron Smith is a better athlete. Like, this is what it is. Like, Tyron Smith would have been a better athlete than Smith coming off that end. But when you put Cam Fleming there, the tide switches, and that's why we weren't trying to, like, tell you guys that, you know, Cam Fleming's going to suck, but we were just being realistic with the competition. Sometimes you got to be realistic with the competition and be like, yeah, man, he's going to give up something to him unless he just has the best game of his life. But realistically, he's playing against a better football player. So at some point, that better football player is going to show why he's the better football player. I'm just happy it did not happen 40% of the time, 30% of the time. If I'm going to tell you, 50% of the time is the damn Falcons game. I mean,
and worse.
Chaz Green was probably like 40% of the plays in that Atlanta game. Chaz Green was getting beat on.
Yep, and Bill,
and all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like I gotta, and then also think about this too as far as game plan. I mean, I want to talk about game plan too, because you gotta think like this. Like Leo Collins went down too. You know what I'm saying? We put Brandon Knight in there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Brandon Knight didn't play bad to me. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, but also you got to see it like this. He didn't play bad, but at the same time, their defensive line knew where they had access at. So it's like, if I know the back door is open, why am I going to focus on going through the front door? You know what I'm saying? So once that defensive line understood where they can get pressure at, they didn't even care about that end. Like, they didn't even care because they were getting pressure on that backside end, and that was where the most important. Why? Because Dak can't see it, man. Dak can't freaking see it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, when I wrote my recap, I really wanted to fit some time in to give a special acknowledgement out to Mr. Brandon Knight, because he basically got some real live action in a pivotal moment in a must-throw situation, and he held his own. That's exceptional. Like, and then think about this. He was an undrafted free agent. If anybody was pretty much put in there as who could have been a domino that caused everything to go to hell, it could have been him. And the fact that he went in there and he held his own, man, I just didn't have time and enough space to really acknowledge what he did. And see, most people not putting this together. He was put in there in must passing downs. It wasn't the balanced attack that we was going to see out of Dallas. He had to protect because Dak had to throw. When we was behind, it was pretty much as possible Dak was going to be slinging that thing, and he did his thing. So, like, in terms of front office planning, you still got to get him an A+, because to have both your starting tackles out and put up 24 points in the second half in must-throw situations, that means your tackles held up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like that's why, like I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, and we're gonna go on to the. This is kind of like a segue point, and I am not trying to make any excuses for anybody, but I mean, you go look at quarterbacks that are down a lot, and Dak isn't down a lot. For his career, he's for the most part, he's usually in games. But if you go look at quarterbacks that are down a lot, there's one thing that you're gonna see about quarterbacks that are down a lot, who are down, they throw a lot of interceptions. You wanna know why? Because the defense freaking knows exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, you got to throw them out.
You're gonna throw balls. Like I'm gonna keep it real. Like I hate those 3 interceptions that were thrown, and I hate that last one that was thrown. But it's like I'm gonna be honest with you. When you're throwing the ball 44 times, which I don't believe is Dak's strength, but when you're any quarterback is throwing the ball 44 times, man, there are gonna be some interceptions thrown. That's just realistic, man. You had put it like this: you had 73 offensive plays, and 56 of them had to do with throwing the freaking football. So you have almost 70% of your passes of your plays going in the air. Well, guess what happens when you throw the ball in the air? There's only 3 things that can happen when you throw a ball in the air, and 2 of them are negative. You can either catch the ball, the defense catches the ball, which is an interception, or it's an incompletion and it goes on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So, that was kind of my as far as the injury update. We had Michael Gallup come back, but he played ridiculously well. Michael Gallup is not a flash in the pan. He is a legitimate starter in the NFL. Salute to him. We also had who else got dinged up a little bit in this game that didn't play. I had one more name that I had. We'll go back to it if I have to. But Amari Cooper, man, I got some video that I shot on the sidelines of Amari Cooper, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Even though Amari Cooper is, I've been saying I thought he was holding out because he maybe wasn't dinged up, but Amari Cooper's really dinged up. Like I got some video of Amari Cooper on the sideline where and it's funny too because it's literally the video that I shot of Amari Cooper is literally 3 plays before he had that huge touchdown catch from Dak Prescott on the opposite side. Amari Cooper is a freaking monster, bro. Like,
man, he's a baller.
He's a monster, bro. Like I have some video I'm gonna put up of you guys. Like it literally, like, and another thing that I was saying throughout this whole game, Amari Cooper's feet, his left heel was bleeding the entire game. They switched his shoe and put him in a high top heel. He was in the low top, it was like a mid shoe, and then quarter top, yeah. They switched it and he went to a full I ain't seen a wide receiver wear a full shoe in a long time, to be honest with you. But he went to a full shoe to kind of cover to try to probably put some more pressure on that ankle or that heel. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you guys ever watched that for my baseball fans out there, it's playoff time right now too, so y'all probably remember that. Y'all remember Kurt Schilling when his foot was bleeding and he was on the mound and it was like his heel or something? That's what Amari Cooper had on his foot. Like literally, I never seen this happen before. He literally took his sock off and it was just bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, they try to protect that stuff, but West Coast, I'm a professional. I'm in your business guy. Like I'm a professionally nosy guy. That's what I do for a living. And so I was able to get a little bit of access, but it was something that I noticed the entire game, and that is, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Amari Cooper, he has big, huge moments, but man, he's not. You still aren't. Amari Cooper's still not 100% right now. I think he's about 85, 90% because the video that I'm gonna show you guys. Literally, Amari Cooper's on the ground with his head down, holding himself. Man, this boy's dinged up. And I love the fact that you have a guy like Michael Jeezy Baby that's able to step up. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I would after what I saw from him on the sidelines. I don't even give a damn about the 220 yards. I don't care about that. I don't care. What I'm caring about is Amari Cooper full strength toward the end of the season because I'm gonna think about this. What I think about is Amari Cooper, what he did in the second half of the season. I'm gonna need Amari Cooper at 100 strength to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. We gonna need a Cooper 100% to go into Foxborough and beat Tom Brady. So I'm more focused on that. So if you hear something come out about Amari Cooper needing a game off or something, not playing this Jets game, West Coast 100% supports it. Because outside of what he was doing on that field, that boy was hurting on that sidelines. And anybody that was in the Miller Lite zone saw it. I don't care. That boy was hurting on the sidelines. What's your quick thoughts on? You want to go? We can go ahead and go to 5 penalties. Are you good?
No. I want to talk about 2 things real quick.
Go ahead.
Just first of all, just on your point, the Dallas Cowboys is in a real tricky situation because they are some games going to be able to beat you both ways, and they're going to have to really choose because Alexander's a really, really good corner. He was my top-rated corner when he was coming out of Louisville. And, man, Amari was eating him up, man, and he's good. You know what I mean? And it was one of those, like, he was, man, just baptizing that young man. And to baptize a corner that good at maybe 90% or 80% of yourself, that lets you know how good Cooper is. I mean, he's a baller, like, and I think he's better than he's ever been this year. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, because Dallas could have literally beat Green Bay two ways. The Zeke game was just taken away because they got a lead, but we clearly could have aired them out too. Dallas is in a real tricky situation. They're gonna have to figure it out. I want to address one thing real quick. It's on the side note, and then we'll get on the 5 costly penalties. Vincent Padilla, hopefully I said your name right. He said, "Where's DeMarcus Lawrence?"
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that on D-line, O-line. We always flip. Let's try to stay. Like that's the next bullet on the point.
Okay. I mean, I just saw D-line and O-line.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about D-line, O-line. We're gonna talk about.
So
that.
I'm gonna make sure I come back to that, Vincent, because I really want to address that because that's important. Yeah. So the 5 costly penalties.
All right, so there was 5 penalties, and not even just 5 penalties. There was 5 things that were directly affected the Dallas Cowboys in this game, and they were things that we weren't able to really come by. And my boy Nick Meatman wrote a really good article on it. So I want to kind of like go over it a little bit and kind of talk about how each one of these affected the game and how the Dallas Cowboys can affect it, because I think sometimes we say that, hey, this one play just didn't affect the Cowboys, but sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with you, it do be one play. Like, it'd be hard to fight back after you get those one play. So the first play it wasn't a penalty. I meant to say plays, 5 costly plays, not penalties, but whatever. All right, so the first was Dak sack out of field goal range. It says on the Cowboys' second offensive possession following the interception on the first drive, the offense was on the move against the Packers' 37-yard line, but on the 3rd and 7 from the 34, Dak held onto the ball a little too long in the pocket and was sacked for about 10.5 yards back to the 44, which forced a punt. Now, while nothing seems automatic from Brett Merritt, we got to remember, because of that sack, we were put out of field goal range. You know what I'm saying? We were put out of field goal range, and then the Packers were able to then, they instantly took that punt. Think about this. Instead of us kicking a field goal because of that sack, or even trying to put points on the board because of that sack, we ended up punting the ball. And then guess what the Green Bay Packers did? We gave them an additional opportunity, so they went back down the field, and they scored they were up 14 points. Now you're up 14 points, and guess what? You're losing. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like one of the penalties that kind of put us into that, because one thing I know these Dallas Cowboys that we got to just get better at is when we do, like, sometimes Zeke was getting 5.2 yards per carry. So on first down, running the ball wasn't even that bad. But the thing that was killing us was then when we come back on that second down or even on that third down and get a freaking penalty that would change the whole dynamics. Like, there was times, Boss Cowboy, in this game where we would go from like 2nd and 5 to like 3rd and 9. Why? Because we got a penalty and we didn't get no yards on that last play. You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts? What was your kind of your thoughts on that play, or anything that was kind of affected by that play?
Well, I got to be very careful when they say Dak took a sack, because that's getting way out of hand, because it's a lot of times when people say Dak took a sack, most people don't factor in cover sacks. There's a term called cover sacks, because every now and then the defense, the secondary is going to win, where the quarterback has to hold the ball because everybody is covered. So because you see Dak take a sack doesn't necessarily mean that it was because he was just choosing to hold the ball and didn't want to get rid of the football. Some things you won't even see unless you have access to the all-22. So that comes out for me tomorrow. So I can't say exactly what happened, but that's a trend that I see with those of us who analyze from television. You cannot analyze from television. I'm just telling everybody straight up. You can't watch TV and know whether it was a cover sack or on Dak. You can't. The only way you can see it if they just pan the camera to show you the whole field where you can see what he sees. But if you just see him take a sack, I'm seeing too many blame games to where people are reaching and trying to find reasons to just blame him. We have to look at what was he seeing. Now, if everybody's in the receiver's hips, then that's what's called a cover sack. If somebody's streaking free and he had time to throw it and didn't let the ball go, then that's on Dak. So it's certain analysis that, because I test people on this all the time. I literally do this, West Coast. When people say, man, Dak take too many sacks, I say, how do you know? And how did you watch the game? If they say, man, I was watching it on TV, right then I know. I said, they just full of it. Right then I know. But if they say, man, I was watching the 22 film on NFL Game Pass and such was streaking upfield and Dak had time to get to him, I said, okay, that guy know what he's talking about, or that lady know what he's talking about. So, so it's one of those things to where, man, it's almost like just a reaction by most people just because they see a sack. Like I saw somebody actually show where Witten was open, right? And he really was open in the end zone. And what they did was they cropped it to look like Dak didn't see him, but really what was happening is Smith was sacking him at the very same time that Witten came open. So it's a lot of manipulation that goes on with the media, with Dak, and and with sacks. So people got to be real careful. And so we'll be able to pull it tomorrow, or you'll probably be able to pull it now, and we'll be able to really look at that sack and say, okay, let's put a film on it. And
I have the all 22.
Yeah, see, mine come out on Wednesday, yours come out on Monday. So I don't have.
I'm 2 hours ahead of you, so I got mine at mid-well. I got it at my all 22 always comes Tuesday morning at 1 something. That's why I usually stay up. That's why Monday nights are usually my longer nights, and Tuesday I'm always late getting on the show. Why? Because I stayed up all night watching the game.
Yes. So be very careful, scouts, when you listening to people say Dak takes too many sacks. It's like you got to really consider the source. If it's just somebody on Facebook just blasting Dak, just first ask them just straight up, how do you know? If they say, I watched it on television, just stop listening right there. Just stop. If they say, I saw the film, listen a little bit more. Say, what happened? Who came free? Right? Yeah. If they say, well, I don't know who came free, stop listening. They don't know what they're talking about.
At the same time, let's not try to pretend the fact that Dak holding the ball long has been a problem with Dak. So I'm not just.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying we have to be. I'm just saying that we have to be careful as scouts because I'm seeing a pattern of deception with Dak because it's a lot of.
But you got to remember though, this isn't coming from them. This is coming from us though. This is coming from myself and you. I said that statement, so it's like.
No, you said Mitch Nipkin or whatever his name is, the guy for the Cowboys.
Exactly. But I've seen the all 22 on display. I've seen the all 22 on all 5 plays that we're going over right now.
And so did somebody come open?
No, there was no. I'm gonna be honest with you. You had a crosser on the middle. Be honest on this play with Dak. I'm gonna keep it real. On this play, Dak throws the ball away. I would keep it real. This was not a play that he could have. This was really like a Taco Charleston play where it's like honestly the best move was him to throw the ball away. On this sack, and I don't know like Dak, and I love the fact that Dak loves his completion his because he even said it himself, his completion percentage. But on this play right here, the best thing for him to do was throw the damn ball away.
See, because I got some plays that's way over that. Like it's a couple of plays that to me, even before that play, really cost us more than just that sack. Like one of the plays was where, remember, he threw it to Amari up the sideline, and Amari had Alexander for 6. And he just tripped, bro. It was just, he caught the ball. It's almost like he overlooked it in. And when he looked it in, he started stumbling.
Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I love Amari Cooper, but he did lead the league in drops in 2017. So
no, I'm not even talking about that drop. I'm talking about the one he caught. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I love Amari
Cooper.
Yeah,
I'm not even to that drop yet.
I won't, when Amari Cooper drops balls, I know the whole world will be like, me, I don't do that. I'd be like, that's a problem we knew he had. Like I'm just being honest with you. That's a problem.
Yeah, I say the same thing.
I don't get surprised. I've said this. Amari Cooper is a great player, but he is known for at least one drop a game. I'm just being real with you.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's
and
what
I don't
you.
even think
And
it's
that's why I told you before we should expect it. Like, don't.
yeah. But
It's
boss,
like
can I say this real quick? But boss, and I don't think it's a physical thing. Like, I think that's a 100% mental thing in his head. Like,
no, it is.
I don't think it's because physically you're not gonna tell me a guy can drop a ball and then go get 225 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, because see, it's almost
that's
like
mental.
when you look at Coop and especially what happened after that drop, the drop that cost us more than likely a touchdown. It was almost like he's super locked in the catching, bro. Because everything after that was like super receiver mode. Like the 2 feet down, man, it's probably only two receivers that can do what he did on that sideline. I'm talking about when he threw
That can
Dak
do it
threw it to that left side.
consistently. The only person I can think of, honest, and there's three. I'm gonna tell you who those three people I believe is: Hopkins and
Yep.
OBJ.
And I don't know
And
about OBJ with that cat balance, man. That was
man,
just
OBJ is nasty
him.
though. He nasty.
He is. But I'm talking about the just
But
cap,
that's a
man.
good name
Man,
group to be in though. Like those. Are
yeah,
the best guys
I
in
would
the
say
NFL.
maybe
Like,
I would say maybe those three alone, and maybe Julio
I knew you was gonna say Julio.
could have brought that catch down, bro. Because that was the throw and the catch was both amazing.
Yeah.
But going back to like the costly plays,
Julio can't help his team win though. I don't know what's up with that.
the costly plays, Amari when he stumbled because that was 6, and then the ball dropped
Yeah.
was
Right.
6, and then
Let me get to this. Let me grab to this this next one. So that was so the next one that we all the next play that was kind of costly in that second too is also a lot of people say that Ezekiel Elliott was not running. You know what happened to Zeke? What happened to Zeke? Well, you guys got to remember we was actually rushing the ball, getting ready to score. Ezekiel Elliott rips off a 17-yard run. Looks like we about to go into the end zone and probably be up. We're about to be tied 7-7. And Taylor Austin out of nowhere holds.
and that wasn't a hold. That wasn't a hold. That was a bad
I'm gonna tell you
call.
the reason why it was a hold is because it was so far down the field. He didn't even have to freaking touch him, bro.
Man,
Like Zeke was already past him. There was no reason for Tavon Austin to even touch him. There was no
the
reason.
DB turned him. It's like if you're a receiver, your job is to support your running back when he's running. So you do got to put a hand.
On the field though.
But no, you got no, because a lot of times he didn't go past him yet. From what I remember, I think he was just getting ready to go past him when that happened. So you got to just block what's in front of you. And what more so happened, from what I remember, is the DB turned him. And the announcer said it too. He said, I looked at it like I don't see what Tavon did anything on that play. The DB actually turned him. To me, it was just a bad flag. They didn't see it right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That did turn the game. That did turn the game. Like that was a costly penalty. Like regardless of fault, I'll just say this: that was a costly penalty for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because when you look at the film, Zeke is already like 7 yards, and then Tavon Austin is on the back end side. So it's like Ezekiel Elliott had already identified. Like wide receivers got to understand that sometimes the block, all you got to do is do this. Like, all you got to do is impede him from getting to the guy. Like, you don't have to actually physically touch the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you seen when guys, when they're throwing these Hail Marys and a guy will fall down and they'll just, like, stand on top of them to get an extra 3? Oh, man, let me get off. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Let me get off you. Like basically, like, Tavon Austin could have just did one of those variations. Like, he did not have to engage him. Like, and that's what got him, is when he actually engaged him. And that's what the referee saw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the referee. That's what the
I just can't take nothing away from Tavon on that one. I mean, I think they was seeing all kind of weird stuff that day. Just to be all the way honest, it was a bad officiated game, and I think that was a horrible call. But regardless, that did take the momentum.
Yeah. All right.
Of that drive.
Okay. So yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you another one. Let's talk. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Another one that was kind of like a play. I don't know if we should have called the PI on it. I mean, threw the flag, but I ain't gonna lie. That PI on Anthony Brown, that one really changed. That was a. I don't know, man. Like, I don't get this personal. I don't get this pass interference. It seems so personal for the referees. Like, Like, basically what you're telling a referee to do is go against another referee in the game while he's standing right there in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this PI challenge is so personal to the referees that they do not want to overturn it. There's been 27 flags on PI turn and only 7 have been actually overturned. Like, these referees do not want to overturn it. Because you got to think about this, Boss Cowboy. When they do overturn it, they're basically saying that one of their other colleagues was wrong. And they really don't want to do that unless they absolutely have to. Unless it's like ridiculously egregious. So when I'm going to be honest with you, and whenever it's just, hey, your camera fell down. Whenever it's just bang, bang on a PI call, I'm leaning toward the fact that they're probably not going to give it to us. Like, it has to be like egregious. And if it's not egregious, they're probably not going to give it to us. Because, for one, these referees are not trying to go against, their colleague. They're not going to do it. You know Bobby Clay says, how did we get a penalty on Crosby? If I'm not mistaken, I think that was the penalty that they threw on. He said, "How did we do that penalty on Crosby?" That was the Anthony Brown. That was the Anthony Brown. That was the Anthony Brown when he dove. I ain't gonna lie, that was a bad call too. You literally had Anthony Brown lay on the ground, and Crosby literally put his foot on Anthony Brown's back. Like, he literally put his foot on his back. He stepped down and put his foot on his back. Like, I've never seen a penalty like that before in my life. And to be honest with you, if that's going to happen, that you're going to probably get something like that almost every game. Because I've never seen a penalty where the kicker literally steps on the opposing player's back. Like, Anthony Brown did everything he possibly could not to, like, run into him. And he just stepped on his back. He kicked the ball, and then he stepped on Anthony Brown's back. And because we're stepping on Anthony Brown's back, we got a 5-yard penalty. That's what it was. Another one that was a drive killer, and this was actually on defense, and I wanted to choke the living hell out of him when he did it, is on that 30, when freaking Jeff Heath, man, when he extended the freaking drive. I'll give you guys a synopsis really quick. It says the Cowboys were mounting a comeback and trailed 31-17. Early in the fourth quarters, the Packers faced a 3rd and 5 at their 30-yard line when tight end Jimmy Graham got tangled up with Jeff Heath on a route. The officials called Heath for defensive holding when it was up. It was on the. If you look at the all-21, freaking Jimmy Graham was just everywhere on his route. Like, he was just everywhere, and his hands was moving everywhere. And it's like, if a wide receiver is putting, I know this. If a wide receiver is putting his hands on me, I have a right to put his hands off me. Like, if you're putting your hands on me as a DB, as a safety, I have a right to remove your hands off me. And to be honest with you, that's what I saw. When you in that play, that's what I saw. And he literally gets his hands, Jimmy Graham got his hands on him early. Jeff Heath starts trying to get his hands off of him. Either way, the referees called it. They got a first down, and they were able to chew off 2 more minutes on the clock. And then on the very next possession, we threw the interception on our very next offensive play. So, defense, I ain't going to lie to you, Boss Cowboy. There were some plays that I say that were bonehead that was kind of on our side. But the referees were very, very close to the chest on this one, man. It just felt like, and I hate making games about the referees because that usually means you lost. Like, you never talk about the referees in a win. But I look back on that play right there, man, and I'm like, yo, man, like, you can physically see Jimmy Graham. Like, that's a play. Like, and I'm going to keep it real with you. The play shouldn't have even been called a hold. It should have been called a freaking pass interference. Like, that's what it should have been. And since it was called a hold, we couldn't challenge it.
Yeah, it was some phantom calls.
We couldn't challenge it because it was called a hold instead of because we should have challenged that.
That was a sure phantom call. I want to go back to the Anthony Brown because
go ahead.
One thing about the Anthony Brown thing is, like, when you commit a lot of holding penalties and you have a history of it, a lot of teams are going to say, watch out for this guy for this type of stuff.
Let me give you an update on it. It says late in the third quarter, the Packers staying aggressive with a 24-3 lead, tried a deep pass to they tried a deep pass, and think about this. When they tried the deep pass, who did they try the deep pass on?
Yeah, they had him too.
That's a moment within itself. It says giving Green Bay. It says, but Anthony Brown was called for pass interference, giving Green Bay a 39-yard penalty. Jason Garrett decided to challenge the play, but it was upheld. What did this limit the Cowboys? Just one more challenge for after that we only had one more challenge for the rest of the game. Before you even answer, I want to know, Boss Cowboy, we are both DBs. We both played DB in college and semi-pro, and I think you played a little semi-pro too. I want to know, as a DB, do you feel it was pass interference, because it is what it is, but do you think that should have been overturned?
No, I mean, according to how they do the rules now, it was very silly. It was very silly for Jason Garrett to even get baited into that.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna tell you what really happened. The ref basically baited him, his ego. He said, if you feel like it's pass interference, throw the flag, right? And that's when Jason Garrett threw it. But I think that's why he also on the second one threw it down so mad, because I think in hindsight he was like, damn, why I do that? Because see, Jason Garrett was one of the ones who helped negotiate that rule. And this is the rule.
Preach.
This is how the rule really goes, and Jason Garrett knew better. The rule says really how they want them to officiate it. It has to be egregious and obvious. Yeah. So bang bangs, they not reversing bang bang play
at all.
Even if it's slow. And then Jason Garrett broke it down himself. He said when it's slowed down, it really enhances the impact of a play. We don't want it officiated like that. We want it to where it's like those obvious what happened with the Saints game in the playoffs, where the guy basically went and tackled the guy way before the ball get there. Okay, we're not gonna let that not decide a game. Yeah. But if it's like one of those bang bangs, they not overturning it. And Jay knew better. I mean, because he the one negotiated the rule.
Yep.
So for him to even throw the challenge flag like it's going to be overturned was foolish, because even though it's in slow motion, it showed that they was right. He did get there slightly early, and according to the rules, especially when you just face guard and you don't never make a play for the ball, that's
pass interference.
And then on top of that, this is another thing. He was beat. He was beat on a double move. It was an underthrown ball by Aaron Rodgers, and that was 6.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you what Anthony Brown should have did. He should have turned around. If he turns around and plays the ball, he intercepts it. Because Anthony Brown had more right to the ball than the damn DB than the wide receiver did. Because the ball hit Anthony Brown in the back.
Yeah, and so Jason Garrett got baited into that. That's why I'm certain he slammed it on the second one, because he was mad at himself. Like and it's almost like this. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Sometimes if somebody get over on you West Coast, you'll think about it and be mad at yourself, right? You always go back in hindsight and say, damn, like what? I should have known better than that. He got it. That ref got in his ego and he threw that flag. And now he's sitting there like, damn, now this is a real challenge, and I'm gonna have to throw this flag, and I'm not gonna have no more left. That's what was going on.
And then, boss, think about this. When in life has someone told you, well, if you don't like it, do something about it? And think
that amp you up.
Think about this, boss. That's the person that you have to reverse the call. When the referee said that, don't even throw the flag. Want to know why? Because you should know in your heart you're not going to win.
Yeah, and it's hard. I'm going to be honest. It's hard in the moment, bro. Like, reality. True. And I'm just, reality TV and social media. Social media and reality TV make us all kind of dug down and stupid at times. That's why we still debating Rome over Dak, because people done put out their public stuff so much that nobody wants to kind of go back on it. That's why social media has kind of poisoned our sports culture to a degree, because nobody want to go back on what they said. So now you got the cameras looking at you. Everybody gonna be dissecting that whole moment, and this guy look at you, and all the cameras on you, and say, if you don't like it, throw the flag.
And
First of all,
should never respond like that.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. What kind of ref is that,
That's
brother?
bias, bro. That's bias.
And that's disrespectful, man. It's almost refs supposed to be almost like you supposed to only almost not even notice the refs, right? That ref himself made himself almost bigger than the game by his personal confrontation with Jason Garrett, bro. It was pathetic. I mean, this was like, so I do fault Jason Garrett, but I do also understand the pride swelling up in him and then throwing that flag because he in the heat of the moment. But it was bad judgment.
He felt that he was defending his team.
Yeah, but he knew as he was throwing it out there that I'm wasting this moment.
Yep.
He knew it. And then what was sad is he needed it, and he really, really needed it when it was an egregious, when Gallup was being raped by King. One thing I want to also talk about, though, that I don't like about sometimes our receivers, when you rape, say you rape. I'm going to say that again. When you rape, say you rape. Like Gallup, when he pulled on your head, like some of them need to go to basketball class to study how to flop a little bit, right? Because the dude basically beat you up all the way downfield, and you turned around like, okay, throw me the ball. You supposed to be now acting like, God, did you see that, ref? Like he didn't do anything. Like, and I see too much of that going on with our receivers. After they obviously hacked, you have to sell it to the refs because you got to remember refs are also anxious too, and refs are also nervous too. If you don't give them no reason to throw that flag, they're not gonna throw that flag. It's a whole lot of things we need to change. But yeah, that moment right there is.
You know what that also means? That also means that Michael Gallup had a damn good wide receiver coach that taught him how to play through the play. Because I know exactly what he's doing. It's called playing through the play.
Yeah, true, but at the same time, after you see that pick, you got to turn around. Like I'm turning around crying.
I thought you were talking about while the play was going on.
No. He was right on that. But when the ball in the air, you know it's a bad ball. You immediately start like you. It's like that's why most of us, right? You with me? And one of the things I'll say too, man, that's why most of us weren't even too mad when Jason Garrett threw that red flag, because
we wanted to throw it at him.
Yeah, and then we it's like we've been waiting on it. So even though it penalized us for you to do it, we wanted to see you fighting on what you believe. That's why people call him the clapper. They was tired of in times you should be enraged, was times you kind of was just monotone. Yeah. So and I like what he said in his post-game interview. He said that was my fault. But the players bailed me out of that, because right after that, Dak threw that dime to Zeke right after that for a first down. I was like, buddy, boys is in the zone, but it's one of those things to where it was just the officials, man. And I don't know if Jerry needs to go kiss Goodell ring or whatever, man, but we just don't come out on the right side of refs a lot, man, just period. And that's a going pattern. It's like we got to play the refs and the other team, man. And to me, it's pretty obvious, especially when you look at holding calls from last year, how we wasn't getting them, how we was getting a lot of holding calls last year. If you look at what happened last week versus obviously the Saints, and then this week, it's like, that's why, the squeaky oil gets the grease. I mean, hopefully this time, because they saw Jason Garrett anger, that they come back officiating a little bit different going forward, because we all know this. Sean, the coach for the Saints, I mean, he made a big old cry about that call, even got the governor involved and got out the whole legislature of Louisiana involved. But look who getting all these beneficial calls right now.
Yeah. Hey, man, y'all slipping right now. We got 38 people. We got 38 shares, but yet we have 97 people watching. That means 60 of you guys slipped in the back door and did not tip the beer man. Hey, I need all you guys to give us one share, at least one share, man. We ain't asking for 3 or 4 because we ain't trying to get nobody blocked on Facebook. But come on, y'all can give us at least one share. There's some good information that be going out here, too. And I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I always try to keep it close to the hip. But something else we got to do, too, is, man, like, every team's going to get bad calls when it comes to the ref, but we got to do a better job of getting the hell out of our own way, too. Like, Like, some of these penalties was just flat out just us getting in front of our way. Like, we can't afford to, like, if we know there's going to be situations where we're not going to get calls, that means you have to be even more cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot, it's like somebody told me, so what we got to do, somebody's like, we was at the, because everybody knows where I sit at the stadium. So they like, West Coast, so what are we going to do? We got to beat the refs too? And I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, if that's what it means, like, yeah. Like, because the result still has to be a dub. Yes. We just can't, what are we going to just complain about it? Like, I mean, shoot, we got to figure it out. Like, even then, you still got to figure it out. You know
yeah, I mean, yeah, right. Like, exactly right. You can't bitching about, cursing about it, crying about it, not gonna do it.
That's going to be your cuss word for the word. That's, you use the big.
That's a week, yeah. But I said it in context. I said it in context like complaining. When people say, I said it in the context of complaining. But when you complaining about it, really, there's nothing you can do about it. I think you made the perfect point. It's really give us more incentive to play cleaner football, more disciplined football, because nothing is going to be given us easy. Like, we are the Cowboys, so this is what happens around the country. People hate us for the slogan "America's team." They hate us because of our popularity. They hate us because of our wealth. They hate us because of the massiveness of our fan base.
Star on our helmet too. That's my.
They hate us. That star. They hate us for a lot of different reasons. All of us go through the same thing different ways. All of us that's in different sports groups, it'll be totally dead when their teams are losing. Nobody's saying a thing. But when we lose, it's like a parade. All of a sudden, the Ravens come out. The Texans come out. Philly come out. Everybody happen. Then the Colts come out. It's like, damn, we not even in y'all division and y'all celebrate like we all division rivals or something. So what happens is it's like it's a massive amount of hate that happens. So we all going through it. So, but we got to play clean football because every team circles us on the calendar. If we don't get the games off, the Jets might have stunk against everybody else. They gonna be geeked up for us. Yeah, man, they gonna be geeked up. So we got to go into that game with clean football too. And it was one of the warnings that I talked about in my article that I dropped today, is that we've been seeing ugly football from us. This ain't just start. We play ugly football against the Giants. Remember, it was 3 drops against the Giants, right? And it was from our stars. It was Cooper, it was Cobb, and it was Zeke. 3 balls dropped. The very next game, bad game by our stars. We had some drops and we had some bad plays in that game. Remember, Cobb dropped that, caused that interception? Yep. And then, going against
that Washington game, I'm not trying to nitpick, but if you go look at that Washington game, if you look at it from a different perspective, you'll look at that Washington game, that score was not conducive to what actually happened in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. So what it's almost like we got to kind of take this as a wake up call. Like, see, Dak
light on.
Dak called it straight up. Gary disagreed with it. Dak said, I felt like we was kind of smelling ourselves. I think Dak got the pulse of the locker room more than Gary because he kick it with him. You know what I mean? When you the coach, you don't really kind of get down there in the huddle with the guys to kind of really discern the real attitude of what's going on. I think Dak hit it on the head. We was playing ugly football and still winning. So I think we made the mistake of thinking we can go in and still play ugly football with top tier teams, and it didn't happen. You had Green Bay who basically executed their game plan to perfection, and we went in there and was sloppy in the first half and even dead. And didn't really turn alive until the second half and almost really the fourth quarter. That's when we really turned it on.
And think about this, boss. We've been saying this all season that in the first 3 games, in the first 2 games, you had the defense not play good at all. Let's just be real.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, defense. And I had somebody had the audacity to hit me up. West Coast, you hanging around all these Dallas Cowboy defense players and you won't say nothing bad about them because they're all your friends. You need to keep it real. I said, man, get out of my inbox. Don't ever inbox me again, bro. Like, get out of my inbox, bro. We talk about anybody on this show and we don't hold back about nobody.
Hey man, let me hold on, bro.
Every damn home game. And you guys can go back, and I ain't gonna tell you what video it is because I don't want y'all hating. But y'all know I didn't agree with his contract stipulation. I didn't agree with it. Why? Because I felt he should have got more.
Yeah. Oh man, hold on, bro. I'm glad you brought that up, man. Cause let me tell the truth real quick, right? I heard Chris Collinsworth say this. Mr. Sunday Night.
Said I don't talk. Like they're your friends, and that's why you won't say nothing bad. Like,
Yeah,
did you not watch the
nah.
first 2 weeks?
Now, of course, I mean, that's hating. But check this out, man. Chris said this. He said, man, it's not an easy job to do what we do because you see these guys. That's what he said. Chris said that. So to your point, so we coming out to the event on Saturday. I'm thinking it's going to possibly be Jalen Smith and it's going to be another player. We waiting on Mr. Mystery Player. West Coast comes up to me and say, oh, bro, I forgot to tell you, Anthony Brown is going to be in here. So hopefully y'all don't box.
That was funny. Hey, man, but it be like that. It be like that sometimes, man.
That boy say, so hopefully y'all don't box today.
And that's what I said. I said I thought it was good because shoot, if he saw the video, like we ain't never talking like we ain't never talk like I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I have way too many players, parents that watch my shows to ever try to be disrespectful about a player. And to be honest with you guys, like just because of Cowboys packages and other companies that I've worked for, like me and Boss Cowboy, like that dude with that big old red, white, and blue hat that was escorting Jalen Smith to his car, that's Boss Cowboy. Walking, like, that was us. Like, when we, at our events, we do everything. From introducing the big player, to making sure he get to his car, to making sure he get back to his car. Am I not lying, boss? Like, we do everything. Like, these dudes trust us for everything. So it's like, there be moments where we have non-football moments with these players, where we just sitting on the sidelines just chopping it up. And guess what? Some of that stuff does come up, man. Like Donovan Olumba at the game. I got 2 Dallas Cowboys hats right now. And I'm going to tell you all Dallas Cowboy issue hats. I'm going to tell you who I got them from. Donovan Olumba. You know what he said? Hey, bro, thank you for that film you did on me in preseason when we played the Rams. He still tells me thank you to this day. Gave me his blue hat at the game. Saw me. Here West goes. Good looking on that film.
Yeah.
And that don't stop us from talking about players. Like they respect that real.
I want people to really understand that it's also not easy too. I really want people to understand that because it's awkward. It's straight up awkward when I'm really truly lobbying for Jordan Lewis, and I'm dead serious about that. I really believe Jordan Lewis makes us better. And now you face to face with Anthony Brown, it's awkward because it's almost like I don't know whether to talk to you or mug you. You know what I mean? Because I'm mad at the fact that you playing. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, you have to be professional. You have to put on a good face because he took his time for the fans.
And he can always get better. Remember that.
And he could always get better. But at the same time, I want people to really understand that it's not an easy thing to sit up here and tell the truth when you know you're going to run into these guys. Another thing, too.
And there's a guarantee that you'd run into these. Like,
because see, Jordan Lewis said yesterday on 105.3 The Fan, they asked him straight up. They say, man, you and Uze, y'all look like y'all would be good for television. Do y'all have any kind of television ambition? You know what Lewis said?
What did he say?
He said, no, because it's hard for me to talk about guys when I know that they put in all that work for the NFL. It's hard. He didn't talk about the money that he can make being an analyst. He talked about the pressure it is for you to just be honest when you know you're going to run into those guys.
Yeah, think about this. It's hard to say someone sucks and you see what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And me and you, we don't say people suck anyway. We stopped that a long time ago. What we talk about is the specific plays that we see you doing or not doing, and we critique those. And so when we critique those, it'll sound like we saying in our emphasis that you suck, but we're not saying you suck. We just analyzing what you do. So let me finish with this real quick, and then we can go to the next point, or we can finish it this evening. One of the things that I'm going to still say openly and loudly is Jordan Lewis still needs to start. It was a holding call on Anthony Brown again, right?
A big play.
Yeah, a big play that moved us even deep into the red zone. The very next play, they ran the ball on us and got 6 versus that could have been a field goal on a holding call on him. Then he got the PI that moved the chains, and it was PI. Even when they slowed it down, it was 2 refs that threw the flag, not 1.
Not 1. So think about this. You would have had to overrule 2 refs. And remember,
2 refs.
Remember,
no, you're not gonna get 2 refs And then he was also beat on that play on a double move. So let's not act like he was just hip to hip.
Yeah.
And he was running with him just smooth hip to hip, and it was a bad call. No, he was running behind him in a trail position because he was beat on that double move, and it was more than likely if you get there a tad bit early, we throwing this flag, and that's what happened. Two, and a panic. Perfectly said. The next thing that most people probably forgot about is he almost killed us on special teams. He ran into the kicker again.
I gotta give him his love on that one. No, he did not run into the kicker. What he did is he jumped and he missed the kicker entirely. And he literally laid on the ground. And the kicker's foot was already in the air, and he put his foot on his back.
Yeah, and you know what they used to tell us? When I play special teams, don't even get close in this situation. Don't even get this is twice now that happened, and they did throw the flag.
We weren't really trying to come on. I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the hardest plays in all of football is to block a punt.
Exactly.
It's probably the hardest play in all of football.
And then he tried to block it off a stunt.
Oh yeah, you only block I'm gonna keep it real. There's only one time when you're trying to block a punt is when you're deep when you're deep in the opposite team's end zone. That's really the only time.
Yeah, and he got a penalty for running into the kicker. It just wasn't enough yards.
You get what I'm saying, boss? Because a lot of people don't know that. I don't want people to not think you're not trying to block a punt, because you are. But I'm gonna be honest with you. A team mindset is we're not really trying to block a punt unless you're in the red zone. You wanna know why? Because there's more negative things that'll happen if we miss.
Yeah,
you can get the whole ball over.
or you want a real clear pad. Like you on a pad to where you running. This is how I was coached on it. You on a pad to where you're running by the kicker, not towards the kicker. You want it to be where you're right on the line of his kicking pad, to where if you trying to lay out for it, he's gonna go over you.
You want to block
you know what I mean?
Ball, not the kicker. Block the ball.
Exactly. Block the ball. But this is twice that this happened. So it's like, yeah, it wasn't. It could have been, put it like this. It could have been way worse, because if he runs into him with his leg in the air, game over. You know what I mean? Just thank God it was just running into the kicker, and that's all it was. So it was a 5-yard penalty.
Because he was laying on the ground, like he literally laid on the ground.
But they treat kickers like they treat quarterbacks. You see what I'm saying?
The lowest played position in all of football.
Yeah, it's the lowest paid, but they also putting themselves in harm's reach when they kicking their leg like a ballerina all the way in the air, and somebody's shooting at them. They like, we got to protect that. You know what I mean?
Just have the kicker step back to your feet then.
Right.
Take the back then. Like,
but I'm just saying how it's officiated. So, but my bigger point is this. There's a long pattern that's fully established of Anthony Brown being clumsy and a panicker.
Well, Boss Cowboy, look at that article. The article said this. The first thing that article said is the Green Bay Packers wanted to go deep, and they chose Anthony Brown.
Yep.
There's film. I'll tell you guys, we need to do a show that's just about the film. Because I'm going to be honest with you, there is some film. We're actually going to do that tonight. We're actually going to, you guys already know our 5 hot topics, because we don't constrain our topics to we're going to talk about this for 10 minutes, we're going to talk about this for 15 minutes. So whenever I put the Dallas Cowboy hot topics, we're going to talk about this today. We finished 2 of them today. So we're going to finish the rest of this show tonight at our 6 o'clock show. So make sure you guys tune in. So tonight we're going to be doing the D-line. We're going to start with the D-line. We're going to talk about the O-line play. We're going to go over Boss Cowboys article. We already did hanging with Mr. 54, so I'll probably switch that out and put another topic up there, something that's equally as important that we need to talk about. It'll probably be like Dak Prescott's play or something. I know that'll get you guys all turned up for that. But we'll talk about we'll switch out to hanging with the 54 for our 6 o'clock show. But hey, we're gonna have to be moving and shaking too on our 6 o'clock show too, because it's my baby's birthday today. So we really gonna be shaking and moving tonight. But hey, man. I ain't gonna lie. Before we get up out of here, man, I'm gonna say our final goodbyes and not even goodbye, because you guys know we'll be back at 6 o'clock for the finish this show up. But we went through injuries. We went through 5 costly plays that cost the Dallas Cowboys. These are plays that we could kind of recover from, and I think we're gonna start doing that more often too. I think we'll start doing that because I think you know, there be a lot of these plays we start talking about and they really opened our mind, and you get to see the domino effect of why we say you have to play clean. And when I say play clean is you have to when we say play clean, it means removing self-error. You know what I'm saying? Because referees are human, they're gonna make mistakes, but you gotta remove self-error, like stuff that we're doing wrong. And I'm gonna be honest with you, at some point we gonna have to have a competition on why the hell Chris Richard's DBs in Seattle's got interceptions, but the ones in Dallas can't get their hands on the football. I don't get that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to go look at some old Legion of Boom tape, but I'm just being honest with you. Like, these guys are not aggressive like them dudes were in Seattle. They just not, man. And I definitely believe outside of Richard Sherman, I think we have a better core than them. Because Vernon Maxwell was a bum. Like we don't have Earl Thomas, but duh. But it's like, I don't see why we are not able to get our hands on the ball. Like, we're the only NFL team that is logistically trying to win a Super Bowl, trying to go far in the NFL playoffs, trying to go far in our season, who does not create turnovers. We don't create. Our turnover margin has to be ridiculous right now. Because, bro, we've had two back-to-back games with 3 turnovers and not 1 turnover ourselves. So just in the last 2 games, we're at least 6-1. Means we've given away 6 and only got 1 back. The only one I can think of is Jordan Lewis's. And what was that? Cheeto. That was Cheeto, I mean. Like, bro, our turnover margin has to be ridiculous right now. Like, it has to be easily one of the worst in the NFLs right now. This is not happening. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's who you want as your head coach. And I'm not saying there's nothing. I love Chris Richard because I think people are like, are you slowly turning on Chris Richard? Yes. I am. I'm sorry. I am. Why? Because I am just a guy who sees production. I am in that guy where if you do all the right things, I'm your best friend. And if you don't do the right things, I'm looking at you like, bro, what the hell is going on? And I'm saying what I see right now is cornerbacks who were pretty good when we drafted them. Like, every one of our corners was pretty good when we drafted them. Where is the Chris Richard effect? Where is it? Where is that? Jordan Lewis was the number 2 rated corner coming out the draft. It doesn't surprise me that he plays well. Byron Jones was a first-round pick, but it doesn't surprise me that he plays well. Cheetah Bay was a second-round pick. That doesn't surprise me that he's playing well. Anthony Brown was a 6th-round pick. It doesn't surprise me that he doesn't play well. But where the hell is the Chris Richard effect at? Where is it? Where is the Chris Westry? Where are it? I don't get it, bro.
I think I get it. I think I fully get it. I think
am I expecting too much, boss?
No. What I think what's happening is we have a culture problem. And the culture problem starts at the top. It's too much entitlement. And when there's entitlement, you don't get your best players to maximize out. You don't, because they feel like they protected. When you can have an Anthony Brown in the Heat and Woods all play bad and all still come out again and start, why are they go max out for you? Because you really go only give your all when you really have to earn it. There's no real true competition. I think Jaquez says it best, and I'm stealing it directly how he says it, predetermined rosters. And it's obvious. It's like, just look at it. Like, we moved up a receiver with Gallup coming back from the practice squad.
Thank you for bringing that up. Who didn't even see the damn field.
And he wasn't. And that's why the other part I said.
Devin Smith walking around. I saw Devin Smith walking around, and it puzzled me for a minute. I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah,
and why is he in a uniform?
And then Josh Jones and Wilson not getting no kind of reps at all.
Tristan Hill, oh my God, we gonna talk about him
now we talking about a guy, Josh Jones, that played, started. Yeah, but now they saying he has to earn it. Put him on a practice squad, man. It's entitlement, man. It's what it is. Yeah, that his measurables is almost like Byron Jones. So, and then I was listening to Woods and Jordan Lewis yesterday.
He's a hitter. What are we having problem with tackling? He's not known for coverage. He's known for hitting.
Yeah, and that's really why we seeing the mistakes that we making. It's too much entitlement, man. It's a culture. Like, when there's a such thing as a bad game. Like if it's a bad game, you don't blame coaches. Like if you say execution every game, that's coaching. That's coaching. And like and this one thing I want to be clear on. Our players play hard still. But one thing about our players, we all got to realize, and we should know this from Scott Linehan, that they play hard even through dysfunction. We've learned that through Scott Linehan. You know what I mean? That it was internally, they all was basically like, we don't like this guy, we don't believe in this guy, but they still won 7 games and they still played hard. So this is the character of this team is the team that has a don't quit in them. But I'm not so sure that it's always even just because of the coaching. It's sometimes because of just how they are together as brothers. You know what I mean? That we ain't gonna lay down for each other. Because the character that's coming from the top and what's being pushed down is entitlement. And that's why you're seeing so many mistakes. Like Anthony Brown running in the kickers, penalties again, missed all those tackles the first 2 games. And I guarantee you he's gonna roll out there as the starter again versus the Jets. And so why would you give it your all when you really see it's not about being the best man?
Because you're in the NFL and you should.
But you still got feelings, you know what I mean? So they have to be managed. Like your feelings have to be managed. That's why quarterbacks are managed a certain kind of way. Like, yes, you should give it your all. Yes. But you still got to have somebody that's also fair. And we not seeing, if we honest, the fairness that's coming from our organization. That's why we get in big games and we crash it.
And boss, let me tell you this too. Think about this, right? How fair was it to allow an offensive coordinator who's never coached in the NFL, never offensive coordinator in the NFL, to have full reins of your offense in a season after you can only score 19 points, and then expect for him to actually do it? Like, how fair is that really? Like, think about this. That was the first time that Kellen Moore was ever down 17 points in an NFL game. So think about this. Whatever Kellen Moore practiced all week, it went out the window. And he had to make it up on the spot. Like, you know, like, just like we have, like, guys to help, like Dak, like, I'm okay with getting, like, like one of these experts that's retired to kind of salt Kellen Moore just a little bit, because obviously he's not consulting with Jason Garrett. You know what I'm saying? So they need something in that when Kellen Moore comes to these situations that he's never experienced. Bro, that's the first time Kellen Moore's ever been coached a team that was down 24 points. Because think about this, and that's another thing. Like, we are a team with a young coordinator that plays better when we're up. So that's why scoring first is very, very important for us. Like, it's very important for us. That's why I preach we got to get the ball first. Because we need to score first. Like, Kellen Moore is like, bro, like, that's like, for what we tried to do on Sunday, that's for an experienced offensive coordinator. Because think about this. Any running that you thought you were going to do went out the window when you were down to 24 points. Now you're a pass game coordinator.
Yeah, and that's where he was strong. And I'm gonna say this before we get off too. I'm thoroughly convinced now, especially with seeing our left tackles out and we still put up 24 points in almost like a quarter. We better off coming out saying this is Dak's team, and it's better that if we lead off throwing the ball.
I know. I disagree. I'm still going to disagree with it because I'm going to look at the film every week and determine who we playing. I'm not just going to blanketly say we got to throw the ball because if we run the ball,
but see, it's one thing. It's this reason why I'm saying that. Because every team in the NFL is primarily one or the other. They primarily one or the other. So you can just default to it as an adjustment. But to me, where we have the most chunks and have the least amount of time to commit mistakes is when we earn that thing out. And we have the ability to create. I mean, the theory. You know, we got number one in throwing yards. Did you know that?
Yeah, but I mean, in the games that we were throwing, like, there hasn't been a game that we've been throwing the ball consistently and it's a tight-knit score. We're either throwing the ball in blowout games, or you're throwing the ball in games where you're trying to come back from a blowout. So it's
this is why I'm starting to go away from. I'm starting to go all the way away from us being a majority running team, and I'm cool as I want us to be primarily throwing because this is what I'm saying about our offense, especially with the lack of discipline. We better when we can strike you quick because when we go to those long drives, we give time for those, Tavon type penalties, right? One mistake like that.
We were doing that in the first half. We threw more. Dak threw as many passes in the first quarter that he did in the fourth quarter. So we actually did come out throwing the ball, and guess what was happening? Every time they either didn't complete the ball or the ball was dropped, the clock stopped and it gave Aaron Rodgers more time. So I mean,
what actually happened in the fourth quarter is that Dak was lighting them balls up on the first and second down. That's how effective he was downfield that he didn't even need to get the third down. Now hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Hold on. No, they wasn't in prevent defense. No, they wasn't.
Yes, they were. They were in cover two.
Oh, no,
cover two with the
that makes it even harder. For you to light somebody up on first and second down and where you don't even need your third downs, bro, that's lighting them up.
I'm saying
like, listen,
defense was giving
after Jason Garrett got that penalty, it was 1st and 25 on the very next play. Boop, first down to Zeke on one throw.
And on
the play before that, he made a dime throw straight to Amari Cooper. I'm just saying that we get big chunks when we go downfield with that ball, and it decreases the chances of penalties. So the only reason that he threw more in the first quarter than he threw in the fourth is because they was hitting them deep. And they was killing them.
We were not connecting deep. The only thing that was really effective.
We was not connecting deep in the fourth and the third quarter.
Yes, in the fourth quarter when they had already switched. Bro, go look. If you look at the film, bro, Green Bay was giving up the yards. They were trying to get out of the game. Like their defense totally switched.
They was giving up the yards.
Bro, yes, that's why Coop didn't have the safety on the back end side was 15 yards back. Like the safety was 15 yards
when
back.
Dak made that throw to Gallup, they gave that up.
No, what I'm saying is the defense was not in stand up and pressure you. They were not. They were backed off, bro. They were backed off. Coming into the fourth quarter, they backed off.
Which makes it harder to throw deep, and he was still hitting them.
I'm not saying they did. I'm not saying it made it harder or easy. I'm just telling you what happened. And that's why those ends.
That's the design of the defense. If you say they backed up, you saying that like it's harder, but it's easier, but it's harder. If they backed up, what they doing is they defending deep. And we was still hitting them is my point. My whole point is this, and we don't gotta agree. It's okay to disagree on this. I'm just convinced now, after this many games, that we are more dangerous going downfield with the football.
Because we have downfield, though. That's what I'm saying. If you're going down the field, but also what you do, you also got to understand that when you're throwing the ball, you're more susceptible to what? To balls being this way, to wide receiver tapping balls. There's more susceptible. Because think about this. The three things we could not recover from was those interceptions. So yes, we are more dangerous throwing the ball. That's any team. Why? Because you can there's not a running back that can get you 36 yards on one play, except for Le'Veon Bell and maybe Zeke, Saquon Barkley. But I don't know what's going on. Whatever. But I will say this: the issues that come with throwing the ball in this game were not achievable. The main thing in this game should have been to keep Aaron Rodgers off the sidelines. To keep him on the sidelines. When we went away from that and started allowing, okay, let's see if he can go. Bro, we gave Aaron Rodgers 13 drives to score. Guess how many drives we had? 13. If you write on a piece of
Aaron Rodgers getting way too much credit on his game too, bro.
I believe it, but I'm not knocking on Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about his offense. Because it wasn't Aaron Rodgers that killed us. It was
at all.
It was the damn running back. But think about
Adam Jones killed us. Aaron didn't hardly do anything but a couple of spectacular throws.
But I will say this: the fear of Aaron Rodgers did something to this defensive line. Why? Because there was times where we just could not get to him. And another thing that Aaron Rodgers is really, really good at, bro. You gotta treat Aaron Rodgers like he's a mobile quarterback. Period. You have to treat him because he's not going to run for a first down, but he's going to run up to the line of scrimmage and throw it. It's almost like Aaron Rodgers can physically see that imaginary blue line that's in the middle of the field. He can physically see it because there was 2 plays. There was 4 plays. There was those 2 plays when he did that. Then there was another play when he was just cognitive to know, I'm about to get sacked. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip it to the running back. We need We need design plays like that where you can almost, like, bro, you're not going to tell me that their offensive line is better than the Dallas Cowboys. I don't believe it. I do not believe that their offensive line is better than the Dallas Cowboys because they didn't look like it was. But what looked like is their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, when we did get pressure, he was able to keep that damn play going. And I'm going to tell you guys something we did not do. Whoever scouted the Rams game in the playoffs scouted the last game, because the exact same way the Rams beat us is the exact same way that, like, Jerry Goff didn't have a good game against us. He didn't have to. You want to know why? Because when you're bleeding in your stomach, when your stomach has a huge gunshot wound, it don't matter if you have a headache. You can have the biggest migraine in the world. If you have a hole in your stomach, if I can physically look through your body and see through your stomach, through the back, you have a bigger problem. And guess what? Bro, the middle was compromised, period. It was compromised. So, like, for people who say, where's D-Law? Where's Tank? I mean, where's Robert Quinn? Bruh, where do you think they were? They were on the football field. But
that's going back to that question that guy asked. Where was them? Like,
and then the last thing I want to say too, bro, how in the hell and we should have probably talked about this last night, but Kellen Moore has to help Dak. Bro, we have been doing 5 and 7 yard dropbacks and with pressure. There's no reason for that. You got your quarterback dropping back 5 yards and there's pressure. Like, what do you expect Dak to do? What do you expect him to do? What do you expect anybody to do? At some point, man, coaches got to do their job, man. Adjust. Why isn't Dak going to a one-stop drop? Why didn't Dak have the right to like, bro, and I'm going to tell you this. I knew we was going to end the show on this, but I'm about to do a video. I don't think Jerry Jones told Dak not to run. I don't think Stephen Jones, I think his agent told him not to run. That's what I honestly believe. That's what I honestly believe. Why? You ain't paid this boy, and you want him to put it all on the line now. My thing is this. Dak done had 2 bad games. If we has a great game, these new test games, what more else do you need to see from the kid? Pay the dude, man. Pay the dude.
Yeah, and then that's just amazing.
I don't get it, bro.
That's amazing to me that this game is called bad. This game was off the chain. This was
bad or whatever.
This game was.
But pay
man, but you can't put up 465 yards. And that'd be bad when we all know 2 of them interceptions wasn't on him.
Well, look at Romo. Romo's greatest game against Peyton Manning. When Peyton Manning came into Dallas, he threw for 505 yards, and he threw 1 interception. Everybody said Romo lost us the game. So, I mean, that's – but what I'm saying is this has more to do with Dak Prescott paying. I think they need to pay him, and I think by paying him, you are going to allow his mind to fully open, because I think there is something in his mind that is holding him back from running. I do not give a damn what anybody say. There is something in Dak Prescott's mind holding him from tucking the damn ball and running. You want to know why? Because on third down, he's not doing it. We're throwing the ball on third down. Why are you throwing the ball on 3rd and 2?
And see, this was so bad about it. When Dak did run,
am I tripping, boss? Let me know, am I tripping, boss? Am I tripping now?
I'm trying to confirm it. You gotta let me finish.
Go ahead. I'm tripping now.
Even when he ran, he killed it. Remember on that last drive when he ran the ball and he got out of bounds and he trucked this dude?
Yeah, man.
I say, damn. Like, if he did that more, Dak legs with his arm, bro, that would be unstoppable.
Like, boss,
so that goes back to this. That goes back to this. Because this goes back to this. He put up 465 yards, right, with 3 interceptions. But everybody's saying those interceptions like he threw it straight to the DBs. And
I'm only putting 1. I put 1 on him.
I put 1 on him. I put 1 on him for sure.
Wide receivers, you make $13.9 million and it hits your hand, bruh.
But see, people after a career high in yards, and this is the worst part about our fans, man, that just irks me, make me want to vomit sometimes. What everybody been saying? We just been saying, Dak, we just want you to cut it loose. Cut it loose, Dak. That's all we want. Cut it loose. Okay, he cut it loose. He cut it loose so much that he put 465 yards in the air with no yards on 3rd down. That's cutting it loose. That's cutting it loose. And guess what? We still mad at him. Dak, you got to realize, ain't nobody going to be happy with you that don't like you. So go back to clean football. Go back to boring, winning, clean football.
Gotta let 'em
They
run the
not gonna
ball.
like you regardless. You can throw up 1,000 yards in the game, Dak.
He has
But they gonna
to run
you.
the ball on third, bro. We had zero. Like,
And I agree with you. That's not gonna happen until he get paid, man. I agree with you. That's not gonna happen, and that's Jerry and them fault. Like, this is the first time that I've ever seen.
He can't be himself without a paycheck. Why? Because if
You
he goes
can't.
out there and gets hurt, then
Yeah,
what
you
do
running a
do?
major risk. Yeah, you running a major risk running when you got a lottery ticket that you waiting on. So basically, the way that we handle these contracts is really still hurting the momentum of our team. This wait and see attitude that we got. And we got this wait and see attitude with over 80 to 90 million in projected salary cap space. So it's really no reason for us to be playing hardball. We sitting on more cash than we've ever sat on in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And if we sign Cooper, we'll get salary cap relief. It's literally no reasons not to pay this man and allow his conscience to be free. It's literally no reason. But and then you got Colin Cowherd today talking about after one game, I would try to hold off on paying Dak Prescott. And it's all for media. That's all he doing. And it's getting all these our fans riled up like, yep, over one game where he had a career high throwing yards, that was a bad game. Can you please slap yourself and then take a gun and shoot yourself in the own foot? Because that's what you're doing with your dumb argument. You shooting yourself in the foot. It's an idiot, dumb decision. That's why he the only quarterback.
Yeah, man. I mean, kind of lost balls. But hey, man, that's what I was saying earlier, man. Dallas Cowboys need to pay this kid and allow him to be himself, man.
They had to go into the season and still wait to get paid.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier, man. Like, they're still. I mean, think about this. Amari Cooper has now had two of his biggest games of his career, two of the biggest games in Dallas Cowboy history, and they're still deciding if they want to pay him. If y'all don't think that stuff matters, you're crazy. Hey, man,
yeah, we sitting here number one in passing yards, not number two, not number three, not number four, not number five, number one. And we over here like, should we pay? Man, get out of here. And Gallup been gone. Man, stop.
And you don't. I mean, the only thing is this: like, you don't like the Cowboys. I said this. The Cowboys really don't. They don't. To be honest with you, the Cowboys really don't know what they want to do with that. Like, they're waiting for a moment. They're waiting for like what Jerry Jones is really waiting for. He's waiting for like a Giants moment when he got to spin around and he has to do this Hail Mary great play, and it's like, oh my God.
I agree, man. I agree. I think Jerry and them hesitant because
sell him on 5-year contract, and that is dumb.
What does the scripture say? A house divided will not stand. So it's what's happening, I believe, to your point. I think it's a very good theory. I think Jerry and them looking at the bad economics of paying Dak with the way that our fan base is divided, feeling like it's going to split us and it's going to hurt his money. So because we split, he split. If we was all unison on, man, pay this man, he would have been paid. But the fact that we split makes him split because it's still a business to him. And he still already got 3 rings at the end of the day. So he not chasing a ring. He got 3 rings. He's just trying to get more rings. Yeah, but at the end of the day with Jerry, I think when it comes down to business or rings, he go choose business.
Yeah. Hey, boss, let them know where they can find you at, man. We'll be back
Boss Cowboy Sports, and then under my Twitter where I just released my article and my game breakdown is hashtag and my handle is @Cowboy_boss. Go check it out. You know I keep it real. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Ain't nobody paying me that I gotta cater to. I say what I think, and I don't filter it out.
Yeah, man. And hey, you already know who it is, man. I'm your boy West Coast, your favorite Cowboy. Your cousin's Cowboy, man. You know that one that's always talking about Cowboys, man. Hey, man, we gotta take this L on the head. We're gonna be back at it tonight at 6. That's 8 p.m. out there in Dallas. So make sure you guys tune in. You guys already know what it is. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to Cowboys Packages for taking care of us this weekend. If you guys need those exclusive packages, make sure you guys inbox your boy West Coast, and I'll get you taken care of. But you guys already know what it is, man. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
you.
man West Coast in this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!